So just make sure that for the mic it's set to your mic, and then for the output it's set to whatever speakers you're using. So like your headphones or whatever.
Oh, Avery,
Okay.
you also need
Yeah, I
a
can hear
stream.
me.
Okay. That should have fixed it.
Are we good?
Can you guys
Yep,
hear
you're
now?
good. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, start over.
Oh damn. Okay. Yeah. So welcome everybody to Scrim Zone Season 9, Week 3. This matchup is for tonight is between Andromeda and Fruitcakes. Um Andromeda is 2-0 right now. Fruitcakes is 1-1. Uh don't let that fool you though, or make any assumptions off of that. Tonight's game should be a really good one. Fruitcake's lineup tonight is Ali C in the top lane, Julie in jungle, Faye mid lane, Eric O ADC, and Eden support. And Andromeda's lineup is Arnie top with Bean in the jungle, Sarvis mid lane, Stanley ADC, and Dr. Dead support. And we're getting into draft right now.
Okay. Well, we'll jump right into draft. We can go back to some of the discussions we were having while we're waiting for the spectator delay, but just right off the rip, you're seeing some bans I don't think are too shocking. Andromeda's taking away really strong jungle picks away from Julian, who's one of the strongest performers on Fruitcakes. And then on return, Fruitcake's banning away Dr. Dad's signature bard, getting away of Bean's Darius jungle. And then the last ban is Garen from the side of Andromeda. And Garen is the champion that all I see has had a lot of success with and had success against Andromeda during the Frostbite tournament. And then lastly, a Singed ban. That's 2 wacky picks taken away. And we're first picking Mel.
Yeah, honestly,
Mel.
Mel first pick is huge.
Yep.
One thing I do also want to note is it's interesting. Fruitcakes on red side banning Singe. Uh, Andromeda Bean plays Singe jungle as well. So, but Ali
Yep.
C he's really good at Singe too.
Yeah,
So
all I see is a Grandmaster or Master tier top laner. I know Singed is his most played all time. And yeah, but not willing to play against it. They were aware that Bean would first pick that and play Singed jungle, so that's kind of unfortunate, but forced to ban it away, given a lot of respect. When you see the first pick Mel, it's a pretty strong pick right now, but it's also a flex pick. And I know for a fact that Stanley's been practicing it in bot lane, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him take it down there. On the other side, you automatically see a Malachi come through. That is certainly a flex pick. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't Julian doing it, but flex pick, and then you have Seraphine. And I'll just say it right now. They've already picked a champion that Mel loves playing against as far as the reflection goes. A well-timed Mel W to reflect Seraphine abilities can be really, really impactful.
yeah, definitely really going to be really interesting to see all the unique interactions for the first time potentially. Well, not for the first time with Mel, but for the first time potentially with these champions in Scrim Zone because you did get to play the first game the other night, but
Yeah, this will be the
uh,
second game of Mel, but we already see a Vi locked in for Bean, and then Arnie is just going to blind the Jax. We'll have to see what Ollie C's answer is going to be. Jax is typically a pretty safe blind pick. He certainly has counter matchups, but it's a champion that can be hard to gank, can be hard to kill because of his evasiveness, and then he scales so well that it's hard to really ever take a Jax out of a game. And a Kinnan counter pick, I don't know the most about this matchup. What are your thoughts here, Avery? Kinnan is interesting to me, though.
I think right now Kennen is in a spot where as long as you take D Shield second wind and you're not getting like absolutely like monster out traded, then Kennen doesn't really have the damage where he needs it to abuse like you super hard early game. So if you play something scaling like the Jax with that setup, potentially even with the grasp, I don't know what runes he's gonna go. I think it's survivable and definitely playable.
Okay. We're seeing some pretty expected bans. If you don't take Syndra in the first phase, I don't think Sarvis is going to get Syndra very often. It's a really strong champion for him. He has consistently performed well. Last time Fruitcakes and Andromeda played in Frostbite, he went 20-4 on Syndra, despite a loss. So, I mean, they're well aware of what he has. Chose not to take it early, probably wanted to keep the Mel Flex alive, but now they've chosen to take away Syndra as well as the Hui, which Stanley's been playing a lot bot lane. On the other side, you take away just 2 strong lane dominant ADCs. I guess that's a read on what they would expect Fruitcakes to pick. They would certainly pair well with something like a Seraphine as far as the MF goes. Instead, they're
Yep.
just going to take Corki, which Corki is a pretty strong AD carry right now.
We didn't really get a chance to talk about the Maokai and the Seraphine all that much before now, but yeah, we weren't really sure where they were going in this draft, but we're starting to get the pieces, to come together. We see Corki picked. He's probably the ADC. There was an argument for Seraphine potentially before then, but definitely Kennen top. It's interesting to see. Maokai is probably going to go support, but I guess he could go jungle. We're not sure yet, but
And we
we see
get
the
the
Zillion in
Dr. Bad
response.
Zillion. Man, I mean, they banned the Bard, but the next thing right after it is Dad Zillion. He's the best Zillion player I've ever seen that I've played with. His win rate on Zillion all time has to be pretty crazy. It's going to be really, really fun to watch that play. And I think when you're on a team like Fruitcakes, when you're on Fruitcakes, you don't have a ton of like guaranteed engage. So the Zillion's going to be hard to actually punish. Avery, can you turn our volume up a little bit? I'm getting a message that it's kind of low.
Who is low? Like you, both you and me, or just you, or
Just me, I think. If you turn me up.
okay, yeah, okay. Speak.
Hopefully that's a little bit better. If anyone can let us know. You see Silas come through, which that makes sense. Maybe a little bit louder if possible. I don't know. I'm getting messaged. Okay, it's perfect now. We're good. Appreciate
Okay.
everybody for making sure we get it good. All right, a little interesting to see. So we have Silas taken and then Tryndamere taken, which I'm kind of confused on where Tryndamere's going right now. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, that maybe we check Discord. Is that meant to be the pick? Because I don't know, Tryndamere. I think of him like top or mid.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be mid into Silas. I mean, that's all I could think of, unless you were going to do something wacky. I mean, I feel like Kennen needs to go top into the Jax. Like, I think that's why you're picking it. Jax would certainly enjoy playing in a Tryndamere, I'm pretty sure. And then, but I'm not going to say I think Tryndamere is a good pick into Silas because I don't know. I'll have to wait and see on that. Overall, though, kind of fun drafts. I mean, we get to see Mel, we get to see Zillion, you get to see a Tryndamere pick. I think both teams have kind of picked good team comps that kind of synergize together. I see windows that each can try to punish the other. Really going to be hard to make a prediction purely based on these drafts.
Yeah, no, honestly, here I'm getting the champions entered for the assets real quick. So, sorry, I'm not very good at multitasking it.
You're good.
I'm also not sure which champions to put in the spot at the moment. It's kind of
I will say the Mel pick is, I think, going to have a lot of potential this game because, in my opinion, so far, Mel's biggest weakness is hard engage that can get on top of her. Like, she has the reflection, she has the damage, and she has a root. But if you actually get on top of her, she doesn't have a whole lot of ways to peel you off. If you can't reach her, her range becomes so oppressive that it's really hard to interact. And when you look on the side of Fruitcakes, they have some engage in the sense that you have Malachi, you have Seraphine, but if Mel's playing well timed with her W, that can get her away from a Malachi ult. It can definitely get her away from a Seraphine ult or Seraphine E. So I could see if Stanley's positioning really well on the Mel this game, I could see them having a lot of trouble actually getting to him. And then furthermore, if you do ever get to him, you might have to get him twice because you're going to have a Zillion ultimate waiting. On the other side of the team comp for Andromeda, while you have the double bot lane kind of want a backline, you also pick some engage. You have Vi, you have Silas, you have Jax. These champions are all going to want to jump forward, which to me actually is maybe where Fruitcakes might have their best window. If they can play for counter engage when Vi goes in, when Jax goes in, when Silas goes in, you counter engage, you have the Malachi and the Seraphine to peel, you can then turn damage with Corki. that might be their best avenue into this. But until we are 100% sure on what lane matchups look like, I think it's going to be hard to make any predictions on, maybe where each side can get their advantages.
Okay, so it looks like it is Kennen in the top lane, Maokai jungle, Tryndamere mid, Corki ADC, and Seraphine support for Fruitcakes.
Okay. Yeah, Tryndamere mid's what I'm most excited to see out of everything there. It's definitely not a common pick. I play a lot of Sylas. I'm having trouble seeing the Tryndamere as a counter just because Sylas has sustained through the W and has a little bit of burst damage. It'll probably depend on what Tryndamere builds. If Tryndamere gets ahead of the Sylas, I could see it being really hard for him. But ultimately, you kind of just R5'd a really good ultimate for Sylas, is kind of my initial take. Sylas has a few pretty strong ultimates this game. Avery, can you stream your screen for me, by the way?
Yeah, I'll stream the league for you.
As we look at the assets, we've got Sarvers is the key player to watch on Andromeda side. Not surprising. We already talked about how Sarvers is currently leading the league in MVPs. He currently has 3 played as of 4 or 5 games, 4 wins, obviously. So got an MVP and 75% of his team's wins so far. On the other side, you have Ollie C, who's the new player to the server and has really made a name for himself. 66% win rate across 30 games so far in this season of Scrim Zone signups and team format combined. He has 2 MVPs so far this season and has looked really, really good on a pretty wide range of champions. And as I'd already kind of talked about when we were muted, when these teams faced off in the Frostbite tournament preseason, Andromeda got off to a huge lead, but Fruitcakes actually managed to steal the game back at 40 minutes, down 10k gold. They held off a base push, kept their open nexus alive, largely off of Ollie C having some crazy heroics on Garen. They quickly turned it into an Elder, a Baron. They caught out Sarverus on the 20-3 Syndra to give him 20-4. And then Kathy hit an insane 4-man Seraphine ult to end that game. So the only time these teams have matched, Fruitcakes managed to steal away what otherwise was a pretty dominant game for Andromeda. I know Andromeda's going to want to kind of get their get back from that. They adapted. They banned the Garen. Didn't let Ollie have that this time. He's on the Kennen. Kennen to me is a strong champion. But I question if Kennen has the same solo carry ability as some of the champions we've seen Ollie go to previously. I think he picked it because it can be a pretty great matchup into the Jax. Plus, it team fights really well when they've already locked in the Maokai and the Kennen. So I do think that makes sense. It's all for Fruitcakes. It's going to all be about finding these good coordinated engages and actually managing to reach this Melon, this Zillion.
Yeah, I apologize. I think I might have copied the wrong images into the folders. Sorry, I haven't done this in a while, but I think we are almost into the game. We only have 20 seconds left on the delay, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap us over to the in game.
Okay, we're getting
For the
into it.
stream.
Very excited for this one. Definitely one of my most anticipated matches. I think these are 2 of the strongest teams this season. I wouldn't be surprised to see either of these teams fighting for the championship when we get around to it at the end. A lot of potential on both sides, and as we'd already kind of talked about, this is some new people in for the Fruitcake side. It's the first time we've seen Erico. He's actually playing bot on the Corki. It's the first time we've seen Eden this season, I believe. Coming in, Eden's playing his Seraphine. So gonna be really fun. Gonna be a really fun one, but ultimately I think all the eyes kind of got to be on this Tryndamere mid pick. That's just unique, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we do see like I kind of mentioned in the draft, Arnier going on the Jax for the grasp setup, presumably with second wind and D shield. So he should have a pretty, like, not too hard of a time top lane, potentially. Like, theoretically, that's how the matchup should
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I feel like it's probably going to be hard for Arnie to actually die to the Kennen, but I would think it's also hard for him to really go aggressive against the Kennen. Ollie C is also opted for Electrocute, which did get buffed this patch. All the domination keystones got buffed. And personally, playing some games, Electrocute, the extra 20 damage early game matters a lot in these early trades. So you're gonna have to see if he can get some chunk onto Arnie and make it really difficult for him to farm. Maybe see if the Kennen can slowly build a CS lead. Because otherwise, I think you're gonna have a hard time keeping both Sarverus and Stanley down. I think both Silas and Mel should have pretty easy lanes, all things considered.
Yeah, as we roll into the first waves of the game, Fruitcakes was able to get a ward down in the Raptors, but Andromeda cleared that. But obviously was able to get the ward down on the blue side. So they do. Fruitcakes does have knowledge of being start on the Vi. Maokai going to be clearing down. Going for.
That was just a really nice use of the Kennen E, the lightning dash, to kind of trade onto Arnie and then run away and didn't let him get the E Counter-Strike trade that Jax's go for at level 1 and already chunking him down. Really nice matchup knowledge.
Yeah, this is hitting the level 2 first. It's looking a little rough here. I don't know if Jax can really play up like that. Like, having the D shield and the second wind is nice, but you do still have to respect the range versus melee level 1. Andromeda getting prio
nice
here.
Bomb. The Zillion plus Mel is interesting to me. Having played some Mel, I would typically think she'd want to be paired bot lane with a hard CC support. But Arnie's actually opting to go back in here, gets traded on. But what I was trying to say was I think Mel's strength comes from landing full combos. If she's actually able to land her E so that you get rooted and then hit a full Q, it does a lot of damage. So anytime you're playing with a support that can stun someone for you, just root them and allow Mel to get that free combo, I think it feels really nice. The double bombs obviously do allow that.
Yeah, and you do see the Maokai pathing down towards his bot lane, looking to try to take advantage potentially of these two mages that should be pretty weak compared to the Corki and Seraphine, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, Corki, I haven't seen a ton of it, but I do think it is pretty strong right now. Oh!
Yep. Bean decided to gank topside. 3 flashes. I think Arnier used flash first to try to secure the counter-strike, which caused Ali C to flash, and then I think Bean flashed to confirm the Q, I think is how it went. Yeah, but 3 flashes, 2 for 1, but really well played from Andromeda to get the first blood going.
Yeah, I think what happened there is Bean skipped his Gromp to go for the gank about 15 seconds earlier than maybe Ollie C expected it. Didn't have time to get the crash, and good punish by Andromeda. Arnie definitely needed that.
See a lot of skirmishing going down bot lane. Stanley going really low, using the barrier and flash. Dr. Dad.
Oh my.
Dr. Dad on 27 HP there.
Yeah, that was really, really close. Gonna have to miss some farm here. Julian's actually there. Does he look for the flash?
Is able to get Dr. Dowd on the return really good. Stanley does get the recall off, so that's a bit unfortunate, but no, really good look, really good punish.
Yeah, you get a kill onto Julian. He's able to steal away the Krugs. Both junglers have made something positive happen, and top lane is just continuing to fight. Meanwhile, mid lane, we've got even CS so far. Faye has opted for the Grievous Wounds first buy. I'm going to be really excited to see what build Tryndamere actually goes for this game.
Yeah, not any Halo Blades Tryndamere technology, just your standard lethal tempo. So probably not going to see the heal cut item completed first item. So interesting to see what items start to be built after the Executioner's calling.
Yeah, I didn't call it out at first, but I'd like to point it out now. Ollie C opted to go for the Doran's Blade start on the Kennen versus the Doran's Ring. I see a lot of Kennens go for Doran's Ring, but really good use of the auto attacks to get that D-Blade value, and it's made it really difficult for Jax. But Vi is here again. He sees it, but I don't know if there's a way to get out.
Yeah. Arnie should have spells up. You see the Counter-Strike come out. It should just be a dead Kennen. But yeah, I didn't get to touch on it, but Jax really likes, so it was 2 for 1 flashes topside to kill the Ollie C on the previous play, But Jax really likes Kennen not having flash, because Kennen without flash is a lot more punishable than Jax without flash in these range versus melee matchups top lane in the right positions.
Definitely, and Bean just putting all of his attention towards top lane, wants to help Arnie get an advantage. They're definitely trying to keep Ollie C down. You know, he's farming fine, relative. I mean, when you look at the mid laners, could be a little bit more farm, but gonna have to see if maybe Malachi can give some support. You definitely don't want to see a third kill onto the cannon anytime soon.
Right, yeah, close to the feet of warfare. We do see Vi topside. Fruitcakes did have the first move onto the grubs. We'll see if they can get all three to have progress towards feats.
Yeah,
But
Fade was forced to flash away there on Trendemir. Really nice trading by Sarverus on the Silas, and he gets the grubs, but
yeah, Bean
Probably
calling for
still walking
assistance from Jax. Fruitcakes was able to secure all three. Julian there with the Maokai as soon as they spawned, so they have that progress towards the feet. But no one really making a distinct advantage here in this game yet.
it seems like Fruitcakes is trying to opt for a fight here. But yeah, I mean, with how huge that wave is, you really just want to allow Ollie C to get as much solo gold and XP as he can from that.
Yeah, I mean, you get the flash mid. You don't get Andromeda doesn't get any pressure here under the dragon, and Fruitcakes gets the grub feat. So I think Fruitcakes is looking up right now. They also are up 1k gold at the moment, so not the hugest amount, but still pretty sizable. It looks like
Yeah, and when
that
you look at the
advantage
farm,
is
it's actually
tops.
got pretty bad for topside. 19 farm. Despite the 2 deaths, Kennen is up 200 gold in that matchup.
Right. Yeah, and it looks like, outside of that, the rest of it is just like 100-ish gold here or there. So
Yeah, and so with this new patch or last patch, I mean, you know, feats of strength went away from being first kill to first 3 kills. Andromeda 1 away right now. Fruitcake's 2. Gonna see who can get that first blood feat. Arnie going in, but you see the ultimate and kind of dissuades him.
yeah, let me see if we can. So Jack's ultimate cooldown is 1 minute 40 seconds, same as Kennen ultimate. So they both have their flashes back up. I don't know. Maybe I don't really see the point of that. They both live, so it's all big. The Zillion comes down on top of I here, being able to walk away. The execute doesn't come down on Maokai to do enough damage, and yeah, it looks like the 4-man play bot does not amount to much. They did get both sums off of Eric on the Corki, and they did get Eden's heal.
So yeah, if they sent 4 bot, you get 1 kill, but Faye just opted to stay mid, picks up the wave, gets a turret plate. I mean, a pretty nice job by Fruitcakes to only lose 1 there.
Yeah, I mean, it does confirm the feat of warfare, but we do see Fruitcakes getting first move on this objective. They already have the 1 tick because of getting all 3 grubs.
Yeah.
So Vi's topside, Maokai looks to just pick this up. That's the second stack.
Yeah, Fruitcakes is well on their way to picking up the objective 1. Because the nice thing about the objective 1 is when you get too early, it makes, like, you have a 2-0 lead, it makes it so hard for the other team, not just, you know, because they'd have to get 3 in a row and contest 3 objectives well in a row. Eventually, you can just trade. You know, if you only need 1 and there's a drag and a Rift Herald up, it becomes really hard to defend both.
Yep. I mean, realistically, I think the way this game is playing out, we might just come down to a scenario where first tower is what's going to end up deciding the feats.
Silence actually roamed up top here. Gonna see, you know, they're pinging it on the side of Fruitcake's. Gonna see if Ollie C gets caught. I feel like it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, both ults back up. Like I said, flash is still available.
He's playing so aggressively, and nice flash by Arnie to predict Kennen's flash, and they managed to pick him up here, I think. Wow.
Yeah, I'm another, 2-for-1 flash play, but like I said, Jax likes that. Still able to confirm the kill. And yeah, like I said, it's probably going to come down to first tower. So, the more damage on towers, the more minions that burn, the weaker people are to defend their towers, the better. Julian is going to get the Maokai ult to come out, but going to miss the mark. But curious to see how Andromeda moves around these grubs because, like we said, Fruitcakes is only one objective tick away from getting that feat. So Andromeda needs to get at least one grub here to stop
both
that.
teams have 4 members around.
Seraphine ult goes wide. Huge counter-strike in the back line. No Maokai ult. The Zillion ult's down on Vi. It is get procced. Trinimir's ulted as well. Fruitcakes is kind of walking out. Might just sacrifice Maokai. Silas Chains go wide on Kennen. The flash slow from Dr. Dad, I believe. Yeah,
wow.
Kennen's not going to be able to walk that out. Yeah, that's 2 for 0.
Yeah, and you're seeing a 6-1 right now. It's just really hard for Fruitcakes to take that fight, even with being first on the objective, because Kennen had used Flash and Ultimate in that previous play. And then just, wow, masterful by Stanley there on the new champ.
Yeah, huge on Stanley to get that solo kill, and then we see the stolen Seraphine ultimate able to pick up Eden. So in the end, a 4 for 0, I believe, and they're able to pick up 1 grub, stopping Fruitcakes from getting that feat. They don't get any progress, but at least they stop Fruitcakes from confirming that feat.
Yeah, and we were talked about. Silas kept looking for these roams. It was giving Trinimir time mid, but it's not like Silas dropped any farm. Silas has right there at the top of the farm in the game. Just really, really nice game so far by Sarverus, being everywhere while staying up in his lane. I mean, and at this point, you got a 2K gold lead at 12 minutes. That's right where you want to be if you're the side of Andromeda.
Yeah, and looking at the major strong point for Fruitcakes here, this top side, Kennen is 0-4, but he's up 30 CS on top. But really, let's look. He's barely progressed on level 9. Arnie is basically 80% of a level ahead. So he's down. He's actually up gold. He's up gold and XP after all of the events of this game. So I'm not sure the angles Fruitcakes needs to look for. Maybe they just need to try to play for their objectives and get more gold. But right now, I don't know where their strong point is exactly to look through.
Really nice play by Julian to kind of be hiding bot. Reflection's not going to do anything for you there, but the Seraphine ult misses.
Yeah, really good positioning by Julian.
Oh,
insane.
You gotta be careful here.
Zillion able to save the day. So even though all that committed bot lane, in the end, no Fruitcakes kills, and Fruitcakes wasn't even able to push Andromeda out of lane here. So Mel and Zillion are staying.
That is disappointing. It was a nice read by Julian to be there. Just Seraphine ult doesn't hit, not allowed to confirm it. But I think if you keep looking for those kind of plays and you actually are able to connect those ultimates next time, you definitely still have windows if you're Fruitcakes to try to get back in this.
Yeah, those abilities should be up for Dragon. So not the Kennen ultimate or the Jax ultimate for sure, but the other abilities used in the bot lane play should be up relatively soon for Dragon. They'll have to wait for the Seraphine ultimate and the Maokai ultimate a little bit, but as long as Dragon isn't done off rib, then using those abilities bot wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, and you're just seeing. I don't know if you're the side of Fruitcakes right now. You're kind of just trying to farm. I mean, Trinimir's 140 farm, 0-0-0, but Silas got so much gold from the roam plays that it's really hard for Trinimir to do anything.
Yeah, Jax has access to his flash here first, but I think LAC is going to back. Curious to see if he decides not to. But yeah, really, Jax has no TP, and LAC on Kennen does have the TP, so going to be interesting to see both low health, how they try to play this fight. Jax flashing in. Kennen does have access to the flash, not quite yet. There we go, just came up, used it on cooldown, able to get away. So does have access to the TP.
Yeah. That's the thing, is they've just consistently made LEC have to flash defensively this game.
Yeah, definitely been a really good thing to pay attention to as part of why Andromeda is in the position they are in this game.
Gonna be able to just start this Dragon, and I just don't know if I don't think Fruitcakes can really contest. Doesn't look like they're going to try.
Yeah, you see Kennen TPing top anyways with his first item completed, not using the TP to go to the dragon, even though Jax decided to recall with no TP. I'm not sure if that's a knowledge thing or just they just decided to give, but we do see the Maokai ultimate coming in bot lane, is able to catch Silas on the tip of it. Trinamir here with the all-in, Silas flashing away, and it does not look like they're able to continue the play under tower, so in the end, Silas able to live, expending his flash.
Yeah, it's not bad though. You didn't have to use flash on Maokai or Tryndamere, so it's nice to see their jungler back up Faye in the side lane, get out Ben's flash, but might have overstayed. And with Zillion there, the slows are massive, but not gonna keep going. Not gonna keep going.
Yeah, the flash coming out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, flash coming out from Tryndamere. As well, the Rift Herald is up, and Fruitcakes still are only one objective away from securing that feat. And it looks like they're going to have the first position on it. Dr. Dad and Bean are coming out of base heading topside. But Maokai's going to have his topside farmed before Bean is because Bean still has all 3 camps up.
Sarvis is going big here. Faye should be able to get away. Gonna go ahead and pop the ghost to get away.
Yeah, well played by Sarvis, able to force Faye out of the side lane. We do see the poke coming down onto Fruitcake's front line here. If Maokai isn't hitting anything, he can't heal, so once it just becomes a standoff over this Herald, if it does, poke on Maokai is going to be really good for the preceding fight. Silas is going to try to die here.
Oh!
The failed dive attempt.
Wow.
I could see the vision.
To get that outplay there. Gets a big shutdown. That's a pretty big misplay on the side of Starverse there to give that back. Ultimately, it's just going to allow Faye to get some push in. Might be able to get the turret.
Yeah, Faye's going to play for the tower. Definitely going to pick it up.
They have 5 grubs. That's going to be feats if they get this turret.
Yeah.
And at this point, if you're Fruitcakes, you don't even have to contest this Rift Herald to get feats. Might still be able to. But if it looks bad, you've already got them. You'd be free to back off.
Yeah, we do still have every ultimate aside from the Tryndamere ultimate on Fruitcakes available. It's about to be back up right now. We do see Jax preparing the Counter-Strike. The Kennen ult.
No TP.
Yeah, we do see the Seraphine ult. It does hit this time.
Big Seraphine ult.
Yeah, Zillion ultimate goes down on the Jax, so not able to keep Vi alive. Silas is here, though, and he's huge.
Stanley with the big ult. Oh.
Yeah, the Mel execute, able to pick up the Corki, and does look like Julian's going to die on the backside here in the battle with Mel and Dr. Dad.
Yeah, not much you can do there. But all this time, Faye's just pushing bot. Doesn't have TP, manages to get one turret, get more than half damage on another turret. And, yeah, as Fruitcakes there, I think they managed to pick up I think they killed the Rift Herald, but they weren't actually able to pick it up.
Well, so I mean, hey,
with the Rift Herald active.
No Rift Herald active, but they still did get the feats of strength. So, yeah, good on them.
They actually got 2 turrets off that play. So
yeah, so that's a huge infusion of gold mid lane. If we look and see, mid lane is now up 1,500 gold off of those plays.
Yeah, really well played by Faye. Farming 10 CS a minute. Has put herself in a position to try to carry this game just off of consistent farming and waited for Silas to eventually mess up and got that punish. Gonna be interested to see where they put Faye now. Might try to send her top. You probably need to just because Faye doesn't have teleport and Otacon will be the objective top side. So we're gonna have to see what they choose to do with their lane states. But otherwise, if you're Fruitcakes, you're just trying to keep farming right now.
Yeah, I did say earlier, as it looks like Fruitcakes is about to pick up this top tier 1 tower. Andromeda with the counterplay, though, the flash counter-strike onto Kennen. Kennen pops the ultimate, does get Jax stunned up. Jax is going low. Kennen goes golden. I think Kennen's just dead here. Does that flash coming up. Not able to get the flash up, though. Still does die. The Vi ultimate coming down onto Eden. And that's a double kill. Otacon is up. I think Andromeda is healthy enough to do this. You do have to be wary of doing Otacon, though. The shred on the passive from the attacks is really massive.
They're walking Silas up because I believe they are going to actually opt to start it. But yeah, as you just called, the shred is massive. You have to be really careful if you're trying to take Otacon and you look for a turn. Yeah, ultimately not gonna start it. I think that's probably the right play, but at this point, all he's been getting caught out. You really need to see them respecting Andromeda's ability to move around the map. They just got people up there first, and at a certain point, you have the flash on the cannon now. You have the rank 2 ultimate. I really want to see Ollie C get a good playoff because he's really just been getting picked on so far this game.
Yeah, I mean, Andromeda's not doing the Otacon. You don't have to worry about it. You can play position here on bot. It does look like Bean does have a position here on Julian with Dr. Dad.
But this time,
Not-
Zillion might be caught.
It is dropping dangerously low. Is forced to use the ult on himself. Cannon ult is available. Only stuns 2 though. The Seraphine ult goes off.
Yeah, watch Faye here. Faye could go big in this fight.
Yeah, we do see the
Trinimir's on
Trinimir diving.
backline. Picks up Zillion.
Yeah, Trinimir going crazy here. We do see Mel use... Mel and Jax are the final surviving members.
Wow, they managed to go 3 for 1, and their probably hearts going to be able to turn that into a dragon. Really good job by Fruitcakes to survive that initial, and then Faye just went big, just going both summoners, flashing ghosts into the backline, and manages to pick off the backline. And that's what you want to see out of the Trinimir that's farmed up and has chosen to take the first team fight at 20 minutes. That's what you do. Your 2 items just goes huge. And, I think the difference there was that fight started with Dr. Dad having to use his ultimate to save himself at the very beginning of the play, so then they didn't have it.
Yeah, I said earlier, I was curious where the...
Oh, Arnie, you can't defend that, man! And, oh, man, just...
Yeah, I was curious where Fruitcakes was going to find their angle here past this mid-game, here into the mid-game. And it looks like Faye here on the Trinimir really able to provide that for them. Ollie C has been getting caught out a lot. They have been putting a lot of pressure onto him, though, for putting his flash like on cooldown.
They have.
And so you can't fault him 100% for that. But Kennen ultimate is still super huge, really team impactful.
Faye's just taking the Gromp. Wow.
Yeah.
Faye's at level 15 right now, 2 levels up on the Silas.
Yeah, well, we do see some poke going down. Curious to see.
Oh, that's a huge root by Stanley into a double bomb.
Yeah, I think able to draw out the Trinimir, really good poke and stun setup, and the Mel ultimate able to, like I said, bring out that Trinimir ult. But Trinimir should be able to heal up.
Yeah, and I'm really not liking Fruitcake's lane positioning now. At this point, you're forced to send Kennen with TP bot. You have no one answering mid. I think they were hoping they could maybe find a pick into Otacon, but against this Andromeda comp, you have to be so careful about pushing into choke points. But Ollie C just might have Sarvers here.
Yeah, flashes to secure it. Sarvis not going to be up for another 40 seconds. We'll have the TP to get there, but Kennen can get there before then with the death timer. Vi ultimate through the tower. Corky low from the previous fight. Zillion ult comes down on Bean. Seraphine ult hits him, and Zillion.
Going huge.
Yeah, Bean about to revive. Corky does go down. Eden walks out because Julian's here to stop the engage, and I don't know. Does he get Bean here? No way.
Doesn't have ultimate, but he's about to. Yeah, just man. Stanley is 8-0-1 on the Mel right now.
Yeah,
that's what I talked about in the pregame. Their comp doesn't have a ton of backline access. They're going to have to eventually find a way to get onto Stanley, or he's just going to make this just impossible for them, despite all the value they're getting otherwise. And, I think one thing we need to shout out is in those first few plays, we had seen a few Seraphine ults miss. Eden's hit every single Seraphine ult for the past, 5 in a row, and it's been huge in these team fights.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about where Fruitcake's angle is on this game, playing through the Trinimir. But yeah, Stanley with a really standout game here on first time Mel for him. So really like to see that.
First Mel bot lane, both for Stanley and just Mel bot lane in the server. The only game that we've seen it so far was mid lane. And I think bot lane might actually be its stronger position when you consider I think having a support in lane just helps it so much. And you're seeing it right now. Stanley's farming well, 8-0, getting near 3 items. Gonna have to see how Fruitcakes can find that backline access.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen inklings of it throughout the game. Julian attempting to make angles bot lane, getting really good, positions for his ultimate. We've seen Faye move around the map really intelligently, able to pick up all these neutral objectives in the towers. We'll have to see if they can position and try to find an angle here on Andromeda, as we got a team fight breaking out. Maokai ultimate comes down, able to slow down the lesser of Andromeda. Bean is in real deep, able to get the Zillion ult down on him. Julian is dropping super low. Seraphine ult hits Jackson Vi, but yeah, I think Julian's just going to go down, and Andromeda's going to go back to the Otacon. But Fruitcakes isn't out of it. They can stop them.
They look like they're going to actually choose to do it here. Faye is coming.
Silas has the Kennen ultimate. You can't start Otacon and look to turn. That passive is insane. They do get Ali C caught out, though, with the Counter-Strike. He's able to go golden. They're super split. The Silas gets the Kennen ultimate. They are able to take down Ali C, but Tryndamere is pushing mid. Tryndamere not there the entire time. Andromeda on the edges, like on the ropes. Both teams on the ropes on the top side, but it's a 4v5. Tryndamere's pushing mid.
Yeah, I think Faye grabbed that turret and is getting more damage. Just didn't choose to walk up and look for the flank. Just chose to hit objectives and gonna actually break the
This might be a little greedy here.
Yeah.
Okay, Flash and ultimate.
Flash and Ghost and ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Yeah. You broke the base. You broke the base.
Broke the base.
Off Otacon. You don't have those. You do not have those summoners for this dragon now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't choose to just allow Andromeda to pick this up. But yeah, you're kind of seeing the danger of not having teleport. It just causes, if Faye's on that bot side of the map, they're gonna get engaged on.
Well, I mean, I guess it's a good thing that they got both the towers bot lane first.
Going in deep here.
Yeah, really trying to start a fight here, knowing Tryndamere is weak at the moment. But like we said, Andromeda able to pick up the dragon. We'll have to see how they move. Both the topside objectives are still up, Baron Nashor and that Otacon. I believe it is the does it say which one it is?
I don't know. Not that I'm seeing, but Faye is on 3 items now, has the Infinity Edge completed on the Tryndamere. If Faye can just land some attacks onto anyone at this point, she's going to be doing a lot of damage. Just going to have to see if they're actually able to find that team fight.
Yeah, we do see Fruitcakes with a pretty strong position inside Andromeda's blue side jungle here. Tryndamere spinning in, almost one-shotting the Vi. Forced to flash. The Counter-Strike stuns up under tower, so that's going to disengage the play. We do see the stolen Maokai ultimate coming out. Silas does like to go in. Yeah.
Be careful here, though. Stanley in these choke points is so dangerous.
Both teams kind of really dangerous in the choke points. It's kind of just whoever can get their abilities to layer first, potentially, in my opinion. Whoever can one-shot the first one first, Yeah,
we haven't seen it yet, but watch Stanley in this next team fight. If he's able to get a reflect on something like the Seraphine ult, it could be massive.
Yeah, I think it that would require Mel to stand in the front.
Here.
Yeah,
maybe
starting it up.
Just force the TP out of Silas because.
I mean, Silas is bot. Tryndamere's drawing 2 mid. Jax is the only one up here. I think they just now know. They only know now. It's already below half health. They're just gonna get it. There's no way Andromeda can move in time.
What a good sneak.
Yeah, and they do have the GA now.
That was an insanely intelligent play by the side of Fruitcakes there to just sneak that. I just don't think they expected him to go for it with Faye showing on the mid wave.
Yeah, I mean, not able to find the angle that we maybe would have thought, like we were talking about the backline access and the team fights, but are able to find, even down the TP that you were just talking about, Flash Ghost on the Tryndamere, down TP, they're able to position their macro on the map, their position on the map to leverage and get that Otacon.
Yeah. Faye continuing to just steal away enemy jungle. They have 2 people bot lane right now. No turret, so it's kind of interesting to have all these. Yeah, I'm kind of confused. They might actually be getting caught out here. Obviously, they have the GA so that they can withdraw it.
No flash on Silas. It does deal the Tryndamere ultimate, so that's going to be going down. Kennen goes golden. Silas does get taken down by Tryndamere. And yeah, we're just going to see the 2 recalls go off. So, I mean.
Oh, but all this time, they're just buying time. And now Fruitcakes is right onto the Baron.
Yeah, we will have to see their DPS with no Tryndamere. Not Kennen. Corki should be able to put it out, but Kennen crucially is not there either. But it does look like they're able to just burn this Baron down, probably unbeknownst to Andromeda. They assume they're on it, but I don't think they know, and they just take it and
Wow.
they're out.
Okay. Actually, pretty intelligent play. You know, you send 2 bot, it forces them to send damn near everyone to actually deal with Tryndamere plus all EC. They managed to kill Sarverus while both withdrawing, and with the time they bought, you get a Baron, and now they have a comfortable 3.7k gold lead. Gonna see what kind of pushes they can get, but man, Tryndamere with Baron is gonna be hard to stop.
Yeah, send your 2 biggest scrappers with the Tryndamere and the Kennen down bot lane to play super aggressive. You don't care. You have free GA, and the rest of the team just does Baron. They're not really in position on any waves yet. Kennen could get collapsed on here. Does have flash, but he's kind of a little far forward based on the rest of his team on the map.
Yeah, I think with Zillion
they are committing for this.
Probably going to be able to catch him out.
It is an open inhibitor mid. The flash R.
Go back in?
Yeah, we do see the VIR coming down. Maybe not a very high probability play. I would have just assumed I was dead. I would probably R. I don't know about the flash. It was a good angle. It was a good try. But we do see Fruitcakes. Yeah, maybe just trying to extend the play as much as possible. Fruitcake's able to pick up a large portion of Andromeda's structures here. The mid inhib into the top tier 2 wraparound, able to force Arnie off of it. Vi may be caught out here. Arnie going in on the counter-strike super low. Zillion ult goes down on him, but Bean's down, and I don't think they're going to be able to save Arnie.
Stanley's coming.
Yep, it's standing up. The Corki poke coming down.
Hey, Tryndamere doesn't even press the ultimate there, got bursted so fast by Mel.
Yeah.
Stanley's going huge here.
Flash root by Julian. The Q backwards. Stanley flashes as well. Eventually able to go down. The Zillion ultimate used on Jax, so not able to be up for Mel. But this whole time, Silas pushing the bot wave, able to match the 2 towers that they have, and crashing a very big wave into the tier 3. Dr. Dad is clearing mid, so maybe they can get their respawn timers up and be prepared on this dragon. They do have slightly slower respawn timers compared to Fruitcakes.
Yeah, so they did manage to actually pick up that mid inhib, and they got the outer turret top. However, critically, they managed to shut down Stanley and got him to use his flash. In this next team fight, gonna have to see if they can punish the flashless Mel. Tryndamere's gonna have everything available here. This is the fight that Faye's been farming all game for. This is the fight, whenever the next team fight breaks out, that Faye could go really big onto the back line, while Zillion and Mel are both missing that key flash summoner.
Yeah, really just have to pay attention to the Zillion ultimate, making it really hard to dive, especially in this game where we said they're having hard backline access. But like you said, Tryndamere is going to have everything available. Bean's going to open up with the ult in on Seraphine, force the flash away. Eden does throw the ult backwards, only hits Vi. Eden does go down. It looks like Bean is going to get traded over for it with Kennen and Julian on the backside. The stolen Seraphine ultimate going off. Bean is going to go down. Eric's caught up. Maybe he can use the blast plant to get away. Into his Kennen and his Maokai. Kennen ultimate does come out. Kennen goes huge.
Holy! What a turn!
Silas and Dr. Dad alive. The chain's missing on Tryndamere, so it looks like Tryndamere is going to be able to get away potentially.
Yeah, probably able to run.
Yeah, Stanley and Dr. Dad here on the bot side. Julian should be able to pick up with Smite. But Stanley gets it. They're not able to secure it. Julian's going to be in here to delay the backs. Silas trying to save the Nexus towers with a giant super wave crashing. It looks like it's going to diffuse, and not too much tower down on the mid lane towers. So Andromeda coming out huge on that, kind of able to get the dragon in the end, not losing much mid. Was looking super dicey.
Man. Yeah, I mean, what an insane secure by Stanley there. You know, it wasn't going to be soul for either team, but it puts Andromeda on that soul point. Bean is just doing a good job of forcing when he sees they have numbers advantage. You really got to see Eden playing a little bit further back. At that start of that fight, you had 2 members on Fruitcake coming out of base, and with Tryndamere not there, it just gives Bean that green light to just send it onto the Seraphine. I think currently, if all 5 members of Fruitcakes are grouped up, they have a pretty strong chance, but gotta respect the just snapping gauge on the side of Andromeda with Vi.
Right, I agree. Definitely really heads up engages by Bean here, using the Vi ultimate to its fullest extent. He has a button and he wants to push it, and he's been pushing it in really good spots. So, yeah,
Yeah.
really good props to him.
Okay, they've opted to send Faye back bot lane. No objective up until Baron is up in a minute. Gonna have to see who Andromeda sends to answer. You're gonna assume it'll be the Silas. Looks like he's hovering that direction, but with how aggressive Fruitcakes is positioning, it's making Andromeda kind of want to see if they can just start another fight. They actually opt to send Jax down to deal with Tryndamere. Normally I would think Jax would win that matchup, but it is actually a 4-2 item advantage right now on the side of Tryndamere.
Yeah, did you see Kennen kind of on the wrong side of the map? Forced to use the ultimate.
Yeah.
Does go golden, but he is just going to be caught out here. Is able to shake and bake a little bit, extend the play, but isn't ever really going to go down.
All game, they've just consistently been finding all EC.
Yeah, but I don't think Arnya can necessarily hold this tower. Doesn't press the R in time. That is, the one thing that
It happens.
It happens. We do see an engagement going down. Eden, really nice sidestep on the Silas change, but Stolen Ultimate does... the Stolen Seraphine Ultimate does get to go off before Seraphine's own Ultimate even does. We do see Eric go down as well. Julian's definitely going to get taken down, and that is a 5-for-0 ace 4v5 somehow. What is going on?
I really think Fruitcakes is fumbling the execution right now, just to be brutally honest. You got to stop getting caught out if you're the side of the Kennen, and then, it happens, but when you don't press the R on Tryndamere, you're losing about half that character's value.
Yeah, honestly, I think if Faye is able to hit the R there, should be able to kill the Jax after the Counter-Strike with the E coming back up and Counter-Strike duration ending, so...
And at that point, it's either she gets inhibitor plus more, or you have to send more people back, and then they're not able to go for the engaged topside.
Yeah, I agree. Andromeda picking up the Baron here. They are grabbing the gold lead as well, with about a 1k gold lead at 38 minutes. Not really anything to look at gold-wise. We do have the Dragon spawning in a minute and a half. This is Andromeda's potential soul. Would be soul point for Fruitcakes. We'll have to see how Andromeda tries to set themselves up with this Baron. Hopefully trying to break some of these tier 3 base structures, the tier 3 towers, the inhibs, to try to make their play for Dragon a little bit easier here. But with it coming up in a minute, I don't know how much work they're going to be able to get done. Their mid inhib is back up, and they're working on pushing out those side lanes on both sides. So,
yeah, looking to see if they can find a pick with Faye with a good back timing, manages to get out of there. And I do want to point out, as we head towards this next really critical fight, it looks like summoners are going to be up across the board. We're just barely waiting on Silas and Tryndamere flashes to come up, but in this next team fight, everything will be available, and it's really just going to come down to execution.
Yeah, this fight is going to go crazy. These last few have been crazy.
But Stanley could potentially be caught here. Flash out of the Malachi.
Yeah, it does have the Zillion ultimate on him. Does get procced. Two Kennen ultimates overlap, but I think Andromeda's getting...
But they're turning it.
They are turning it. Kennen goes down. Sarvis is insane in the backline. Tryndamere should be able to pick him up here.
If Faye has arrived.
Julian 1v3 in the backline.
By the way.
Yeah, Tryndamere is here. Does still have the ghost available.
Has everything. He has Ari. Faye remembers to press it this time. Manages to shut down Stanley.
Yeah.
Already flashes.
Counter-Strike is down. Jax is still going in. Lethal's tempo stacked. Should be able to take down the Jax here. That's a quadra kill for Faye.
Holy! Tryndamere is going crazy. But you got to give credit to Julian in that fight. The moment he saw Stanley mispositioned, which Stanley has done a really good job this game of not mispositioning much at all, makes the mistake at 39 minutes. Instant Malachi flash route. Manages to just start that team fight off on a much better note for Fruitcakes. And then at that point, you have to use so much that there's nothing left to keep Faye from cleaning up.
Yeah, does just go to show that, Julian, like we said, they need to look for that backline access, and they might not have been able to find very many angles for it, successful angles for it yet in this game. Mel still only 2 deaths here in 40 minutes. but they were able to find it there. And as soon as he found it, he did snap on it, like you said. So yeah, really good looks.
I do want to point out as well, really critical by Eden there, was patient with the Seraphine ult. Started off just using the E, got Stanley to use his W, the Mel Reflect, and then Eden put out the Seraphine ultimate. Had Eden used that too early and it got reflected by Mel, I think that fight would have looked wildly different. So really good patience by Eden there to just allow that fight to start off so well.
Yeah, honestly, we didn't. I haven't mentioned it. It does look like Tryndamere is probably going to go down here. Yeah, this is just a dead Tryndamere.
Yeah, but 99% slow on Zilean at this point of the game.
With Silas and Mel, Andromeda is able to send 2 Seraphine ultimates potentially at Fruitcakes, while Fruitcakes has a max of 1. We do see Bean flash engage onto Eden here. Buffers the Seraphine R with their R. Is able to take down Seraphine. The Zilean ult down on Bean. He is coming back up. Yeah, huge Kennen DPS. Is able to pick up Bean out of the revive and Zilean with no ult because he used it on Bean. Mel using the reflect. Arnie trying to make space. Huge root. It does look like Stanley's able to walk it out. Silas pushing bot the whole time.
Yeah. Ends up being 2 for 2 there, if you count the catch top lane. But, nice job. Fruitcakes is doing a nice job of trying to peel Eden when Bean is just... I really feel like Bean has ulted the Seraphine damn near every time.
Well, yeah, if you look at in Bean's inventory, he did build it kind of early. I think 3rd item. I don't know if you noticed it, but he does have that Serpent's Fang. So Bean looking out on that onto Seraphine every single time does really kind of make sense to try to play these team fights out with the reduced shielding that Seraphine's putting out.
That's a really good point. Yeah, you see that that value of that item coming through, and critically there, Ollie C managed to live on a sliver, and they picked Silas up. Granted, Starburst did opt to save the flash, which I think ends up being pretty smart there. He'll have that for this next fight. You have Baron spawning in a minute with Soul still 2.5 minutes away.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, kind of just like a really aggressive or overly aggressive position from Cerberus too on the Silas. So he saves his flash because he knows he's probably just dead, but he probably knows he shouldn't have been there at that time too, and he did get punished for it. So,
at this point, they're opting to put Faye bot lane again. Gonna draw Arnie down there. We've already seen that it feels like Tryndamere wins this matchup. It just takes time. Really want to see Fruitcakes respect Andromeda's engage and not let themselves get engaged on because Faye critically has no ability to join.
Yeah, I mean, Fruitcake's trying to hold it down here, 4v5.
All he is just so far up, I feel like they can just run behind him again.
Yeah, this guy is just caught. Does not have the flash available. He's in the base trying to extend the play, but yeah, no, the Maokai ult's coming in.
Not respecting them.
And I don't know if this looks good for Fruitcakes. The Zilean ult is down on Bean. Doesn't go off, so Bean is dangerously low.
And there's the big Seraphine ult.
Yeah, Dr. Dad does go down, but I think Corky and Seraphine are just able to walk it out. Tryndamere not pushing the base, but yeah, honestly, just a really, really scuffed look for Fruitcakes there. Really not what you want to see here at this late stage of the game.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it that time. You really got to see them respecting this just engage capabilities. You have Faye putting out so much value bot side. You just have to stay alive top. Really want to see Ollie C respect their ability to collapse on him.
Faye maybe overextending here a little bit, forced to flash.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, you see the Randuin's Omen built by Jax, able to get the slowdown onto Faye there. Able to force the flash. We do have... we did say, yeah, Fruitcakes had position on Baron, and that was up in 30 seconds. It spawned while they were doing that. It's been up. Dragon was 2 minutes away still, and it's 10 seconds out now, and no one really has a position on either objective at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think you
both teams are one drag away from Soul. Yeah,
I don't think anyone's going to want to trade. But, right now you have Faye answering top. If Andromeda sees Faye on that wave, they're just going to start the objective.
Yeah, I believe so. Faye moving instantly, but still Fruitcake's going to be late on the objective. Maybe that's how you want to play it with the with your CC layer with the Maokai ultimate. Wait for Fruitcake's
behind them here. They have a pinch.
Yeah. Oh,
Bean
Bean
goes
with a
in.
huge engage. The counter-strike
Huge
goes
counter-
off. Corky is dead. Seraphine comes down. Seraphine instantly obliterated. It does look like this is just going to be an Andromeda ace. Maybe Tryndamere can make something
Gotta watch
happen
Tryndamere.
here.
You gotta watch Tryndamere.
Ult is wearing out. It doesn't get anybody. Yeah, Julian, the last standing survivor on the Maokai, is going to go down with it. I don't think anybody traded back.
No.
Yeah. Huge fight for Stanley. 19-2-7 on the Mel.
Yeah.
First time bot lane.
Whew.
I think they're going to use this opportunity to at least grab 2 inhibitors. I don't know if they're going to end. Or maybe they just go get the... Yeah, Seraphine's up. They're not going to get any of the objectives on the map, aside from this dragon here, probably, with how low they are.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to take that soul, which that'll be very nice to have against something like Kennen, against the burst damage that Fruitcakes has. And yeah, just a really nice team fight. And Andromeda members are just continuing to live on very, very low health bars. But I mean, crucially, Mel has only 2 deaths this game, and Mel really hasn't even been the recipient of the zillion Rs. It's not like Dr. Dad's been keeping Stanley alive. Stanley, through his own movement and positioning, has allowed Dr. Dad to put those ultimates onto the frontline members, making it really hard for Andromeda or for Fruitcakes to actually pick anyone up.
Yeah, you will see Baron is the objective up. Fruitcakes has Kennen with TP top lane. Faye on the Tryndamere is bot side, matching the Jax that has teleport up. Silas top side because he does not have TP. We do see Jax just trying to brawl here. I think he might be able to win.
Yeah, at this point, Jax is kind of scaled.
Yeah, Counter-Strike is back up. The Tryndamere ult has worn off. Oh, it's so close.
Oh, wait, the Zion.
Oh, the E-timing. Really well played by Faye there.
Yeah.
On that fight that Arnie opted into.
Counter-Strike back up.
But yeah, but I mean that's their TP on the side wave, on the far wave dead.
Yeah, that's critical. Now you have to send people back to actually answer Faye. You know, Faye got down to 1 HP, but you're playing Tryndamere. You're gonna fully heal off 1 wave, and
yeah, Silas
back. But you know, Faye doesn't have ultimate, so I'm assuming she can't dive the Silas. But yeah,
does have to play scared of Silas. Silas crucially doesn't have TP yet either.
But yeah, with 30-second death timer, Andromeda or Fruitcakes, instead of opting to look for Baron, is actually instead just choosing to see if they can actually get a man advantage and just take a fight in the base.
Yeah, this inhib would be huge. Faye, you just see Faye going down, not able to get the tower.
Man. I guess Faye was content trying to trade her life for the tower, but the burst damage out of Silas was actually pretty huge there, and without the Tryndamere ultimate that just now came up, not able to get that, and now you have 50 seconds. If you're Andromeda, you could TP Arnie in and just force a Baron.
Yeah, I mean, Silas TP is almost up now too. They are kind of finding themselves in the position that they had put Andromeda in.
Yeah, gonna have to see what they want to do with it here.
Corky may be caught here. Bean does have the angle. It's just gonna use the R here. Corky does have barrier, no flash. Is gonna get caught up. Julian able to create space, but I think the slow from Dr. Dad. Oh, and the exhaust, the flash. Being able to pick it up.
At this point, they're a little too far up. I think with the ult, Stanley's there, and yeah. Okay, nicely done by Andromeda. Just once again, if you've been mispositioned for an instant this game and you're on the team Fruitcakes, Bean and Dr. Dad have been there. And there's just no getting away from a Vi plus Zillion.
Yeah, and Andromeda should be able to start up this Baron.
But yeah, Maokai has no flash, so I'm not actually sure if you're going to have an ability to even go for a steal.
Yeah, I mean, Silas zoning him off, getting vision, doesn't look like they're contesting, and it should just be another Baron going over to Andromeda.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Andromeda's just consistently found picks and just consistently used that to create pressure. And I mean, the game is super, super close. You're seeing it both going back and forth, but ultimately it's been Fruitcake's members just getting caught out that is just slowly giving Andromeda advantage after advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, look at Bean's build. He said, "I don't have feats of strength. I don't get upgraded boots. I'm not even gonna build boots, bro." He has that Randuin's Omen, taking out the crits from Corky and from Tryndamere, and also does get that slow to help counteract the no boots. But yeah,
Also has
Vi,
Dr. Dad just kind of
yeah,
pocketing him and speeding him up, so it's not like
yeah,
he's slow.
yeah. That with the Serpent's Fang interaction here on the team fights with the priority on Seraphine, just really intelligent team fighting from Andromeda on that front.
Yeah, and at this point, you just get to a certain point in Zillion games and to where it just becomes so hard to deal with. His cooldowns are so low. If you're playing a melee champion like Trindamere, even if you do a lot of damage with Zillion there to put a slow on you, you really can't do anything.
You almost have to just like try to kill the Zillion and force his team off of him, or find some way to get kills in the downtime while he's reviving himself.
Yeah, but with Mountain Soul and now you have Guardian Angel on Vi, Bean's going to be able to go in pretty freely the moment he sees an engage and not even going to need to engage to have Baron take out the turret.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Bean could potentially have 3 health bars. But we do see the stolen Maokai ultimate coming out. Julian able to block it up, but this should be the Maokai ultimate in return.
Oh,
Counter-Strike is
wow.
prepped. The Flash is Kennen ultimate. We do see Bean in the backline going in on Corki. Jax, he's in there as well. Trinamere dive in the backline, but it does look like the Andromeda is going to be able to fend off the Trinamere on the backline. Fruitcakes is super low.
You see the
We are
Guardian
getting
Angel value coming back up.
yeah, and 4 members of Andromeda still alive.
Arnie!
Huge flash counter strike, and the stolen Seraphine ultimate. We are able to see the 2 for 5, 2 kills down from
Holy.
Andromeda. The ace on Fruitcakes, and they're gonna take game 1.
Whew, 52-minute banger back and forth. Gold leads traded. Really well played by both teams. And ultimately, just Andromeda managed to pull it out.
Yeah, really well played from Andromeda. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna be really sad if this series ends in a 2-0 because like that game was really good, and I imagine the next game is gonna be like a banger as well. That was like a 50-minute banger, so I'm gonna be really sad if it's a 2-0. But yeah, because both
I
these
think,
games are setting up to be like looking really good, and potentially
oh
our
yeah,
third game as well.
yeah, we're setting up for something great here. I guess before we start talking about adaptations for game 2, we should probably go ahead and just discuss game 1, kind of wrap it up, give an MVP. Before I say who my MVP is, I will say I think Fruitcakes was close there. They definitely had angles. They definitely had an ability to win that game. I think what's going to be critical to look back is when they had advantages, I think they just misplayed the macro a little bit. Whether it was just not respecting the fact that, Faye was pushing bot without teleport and the rest of the team kind of being a little too far up top side, as well, Ollie C and Faye herself just kind of getting caught out on the side. I recognize that they put a lot of attention kind of camping Ollie C early game, shutting him down, but in the mid to late game, he got caught a few times just on his own from just being too far up in the side. I think if they could have eliminated those plays, they could have found a few more favorable fights. As far as MVP goes, I'm going to be hard pressed to say it could be anyone but Stanley. I mean, what a dominant game on the Mel bot lane. First time in the server.
Yeah, really huge performance from Stanley. Honestly, it's really kind of hard to tell who should get it. But yeah, I think there's arguments for Bean, Dad, and Stanley. But I think you're right. I think Stanley does deserve it.
Yeah, Bean did find a lot of those pickoffs that were really huge. You saw the value that Zillion provides, but I mean, Stanley was just damn near untouched in those plays. Well, I don't know what his final score was, 19-2 or 20-2 or something just crazy like that. I'm sure if we'd seen the damage charts, it would have been really insane.
Yeah, and I think we are about to get into draft. Let me get that pulled up for everybody here.
Looks like Fruitcake's opted to go for blue side. Immediately what this tells me is it's going to force Andromeda to probably ban away the Singed. Whoever's on red side this series is going to feel pressure to just ban Singed, I think. So it's going to give Fruitcakes one more ban, give Andromeda one less of a ban. I'm going to be interested to see if Fruitcakes opts to ban away the Mel. Maybe they opt to first pick it themselves. Gonna have to see. I don't think you want to just let Stanley play Mel again, though. Not after that kind of a performance.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe we see a world where Fruitcakes first picks the Mel for themselves here. Says, all right, you showed that you're going to go blue side. You'll just first pick Mel. We can do the same thing too. I'd be interested to see where it would go. I mean, it'd be a baller move to swap sides to blue and then just pick Mel.
Certainly, it would be. At that point, would Andromeda even consider something like leaving open both Mel and Singed, or who knows? But we'll see. I don't think we're too far off from getting into this next draft.
Yeah, we're in draft right now.
We are in draft right now, and we're going to see a Garen ban and a Bard ban. Both of those, nothing's changed there.
Gragas was Gragas banned last time?
Yeah, Gragas was banned last time, and then the last ban by Andromeda last time was Skarner. We're going to have to see if they choose to drop the Skarner ban for a Singed ban instead. Probably what you'd expect, and then this ban will be whatever Fruitcakes is opting to ban instead of Singed. Milio, oh, I think those are just some hovers. I was going to say that would seem a little bit random. If I'm Fruitcakes, I'm probably just going to get rid of Mel unless you feel comfortable choosing to first pick it. Okay, they banned the Cinch, which tells me they're going to first pick Mel if you don't ban it away. Okay. We have found the new priority pick in Scrim Zone. We'll see if this carries over to our other series, but so far, Mel has looked 2-0, really good performances in both games. Gonna see if Fruitcakes can keep it going.
Yeah, we do see the Leona support pick here in response. Like we said, we aren't really sure where Mel will go. Popularly played. I've heard inklings of top lane. I've mainly seen it mid and ADC though, or like bot lane carry. So
I definitely think its strongest role is probably bot lane right now. I definitely think it's viable mid, but strongest is probably bot lane. And I mentioned it last game, but the side of Fruitcakes didn't have a whole lot of guaranteed engage onto Mel. If Andromeda can smartly draft some hard engage, like you already have Leona, if Bean just opts to go for Vi again, I think it could end up being really, really hard for the Fruitcakes member playing Mel to have the same performance.
I agree. We are seeing Morgana
And I
locked in
will
as
say,
well.
just
Is
for
that
anybody watching, if you hadn't realized, the side select's actually flipped. It's showing Fruitcakes on the right side of the draft, but they are actually drafting on blue side this time around.
Oh, damn. 1 second.
But Stanley opted to go for his Victor, which means Stanley's just been playing Mage's bot. He was playing Hwei, he was playing Victor. He's obviously now added the Mel. I think Victor's a great answer into the Mel. Doesn't really have something insane for Mel to try to reflect. And when you see the Draven plus Morgana locked in, what that tells us is that it's probably going to be Faye piloting that Mel in the mid lane. And I kind of like that. If you're the side of Fruitcakes, you kind of bait out Mel and then get Andromeda to pick as if they think Mel's probably bot lane, and then you immediately try to counter Leona Victor via Draven Morgana. Okay, Fruitcake's actually okay. No, sorry. Andromeda chooses to just take Arnie blind Jax again. They're just going to take that right now and then ban away counters. They ban away the Kennen that, even though they ended up winning the game, Kennen had generated a pretty big advantage in his solo lane. It just was all the help that they gave Arnie that kind of allowed him to eventually kind of scale. This time you get rid of the Kennen. We'll have to see what Ollie sees next counter is, and then also get rid of the Wukong. That's another thing I hadn't said yet, but I definitely think I'd prefer to see Julian go for more of a carry champion this time around. He had a good performance on the Malachi, but I consider him to be one of the stronger junglers in the server at playing carry champions. Obviously, Wukong's the first one that comes to mind. With that and the Gragas taken away, I'm curious if he has another one he feels comfortable pulling out, but I'd like to see him have a little more agency than the Malachi provides.
Yeah, we are going to see his pick picked up in the second phase though. They are gonna Andromeda is gonna be forced to show their fourth pick here. Curious to see what they'll pick. I imagine that they pick jungle here.
Yeah.
I think that's a Nefiri
Uh,
jungle for Bean.
Yeah, and it's actually a flex pick too, I think. I think there's a world Starburst could maybe play it. In my opinion, I would probably say you want to hold jungle pick there unless they are thinking about flexing the Victor between mid and top, because you already know at this point it's probably going to be Mel mid. The Fury's a hype pick though. Definitely not something you've seen a ton of in Scrim Zone. Definitely not team format.
And I do think that's still, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait for the fifth pick. That could be Poppy top or Poppy jungle.
We have seen Ollie C play Poppy already this season. Played it into, I believe it was Nevada's Riven. Played it against 101 Thieves in their win. Had a good Poppy performance. Um, Gotta see what this last pick is. You're assuming it's going to be jungle.
Xin Zhao. Let's
Okay, I
go.
mean
I'm
that
hyped for
that
some
is that.
Xin
Yeah.
versus Nefiri. And it does look like it's going to be
Oh,
Aurelion Soul mid with a
yeah.
Victor bot lane for Stanley.
Yeah, I mean, ASOL is kind of like what I've seen some mid laners identify as a really good counter into the Mel. Doesn't have anything that Mel's actually able to get value out of reflecting, and kind of can just W at the Mel. If Mel ever just whiffs her root, it gives ASOL just free ability to just fly towards you and put out a lot of damage. And um, yeah, and you kind of have that hard scaling on your side when you have the ASOL plus the Victor plus the Jax. If you're Fruitcakes here, you're really going to need to snowball this game because they've kind of once again drafted a comp that doesn't have a ton of engage. Just like last game, you have the Poppy and the Kennen that can kind of just run at you. You had the Maokai, now you have the Zen that can kind of just run at you. But if we get to late game, it could be really difficult to actually find backline access onto the Aurelion Soul and onto the Victor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where Xin Zhao is gonna path here in this game. I also I don't know how Xin Zhao versus Nefiri even looks like. Like I mean, I know Victor scales, I know Jack scales, I know Asol scales. I don't know what Xin Zhao versus Nefiri looks like in like even like the 1v1 or the top lane 2v2 or the mid lane 2v2. I have no idea. So I'm just really it's really a toss up for me on this game because I don't know if I've seen Eden play Morgana before. I could be wrong, but then
I
we see,
have. I've seen
yeah,
Eden.
okay, yeah, and but then we have Mel, first timed by, uh, I believe Faye here. So I mean, just I mean, a really interesting game to look forward to. A lot of uncertainty on my end, at least. I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be another really exciting one. I have no idea how Nefiri goes. You'd hope it goes good for Xin Zhao because, like I said, I really think Fruitcakes needs to snowball this early game. And if that's the way, Julian's a jungler that has shown he really has a good understanding of how to punish the other jungler when he has an advantageous position. And that is one thing when you draft something like Aurelion Soul, doesn't have the most capability to help his jungler out in those early skirmishes.
Yeah, looking at like the top lane 2v2 and like the mid lane 2v2, um, Mel and Xin versus Asol and Nefiri. I think that Xin and Mel win out on that, and then Poppy and Xin versus Jax and Nefiri. Um, I think that that might be a more approachable angle for Andromeda as well. Or that might be a more approachable angle for Andromeda because Fruitcakes, I said mid lane was where they might want to be looking, especially with Sarvis being a really big part of Andromeda and Buffet being a really big part of why Fruitcakes was able to stay in the last game. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think Julian might be pressed to put some attention mid lane and try to play a little bit through Faye as well.
Yeah, despite the loss last game, Faye had a really impressive game. I mean, shout out picking Trindamere mid. That's pretty awesome. And then popping off like that. Um, Gonna have to see if Andromeda can respect the early ganks out of Bean. I think obviously Neferi's going to have a lot weaker early gank ability than something like the Vi did. Maybe that will allow you to get a little bit more isolation time in those 1v1s. But yeah, we'll wait and see as we're getting close to being into the next game.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting. I don't know what we're waiting for. I think Dr. Dad is in spectators, but everyone else here is here in the lobby. So should only be a little bit longer. I'm really not sure. I'm going to look into why, because there should be slides that show like the stats for the champions that are in the game right now. So I'm trying to figure out why they're not showing.
It's interesting that Julian and Bean had never played before until tonight. Both two players that have played a lot of jungle on the server.
Oh, that's why. Okay, sorry. Yeah, the visual part of the visuals of the out of game part of stream have been messed up because I thought that the file locations for the images would be remembered from the last time I streamed, but they had not. So I've beefed this a little bit. So
no worries. Kind of interesting to see that as far as champions to watch, we're actually both the Morgana and the Draven for Erico and Eden. So getting on those comfort picks, Stanley as well got onto his comfort Victor. So a lot of comfort in the bot lane this game on champions that these players have historically put on pretty good performances with. It's also, you kind of got to mention every time Dad's on the screen, 9 games of Bard with a 13 KDA. I promise y'all
okay,
that's
here we go. Here we go. We have the slides now. We have the slides. I have fixed it. Okay, so you can see Poppy. Poppy and Jax have the same number of wins, but Poppy with a much better game spread compared to Jax on their KDAs. Neferi in the jungle apparently has been played twice, and it's 0-2. But we've never seen Jin Zhao versus Neferi. Jax historically losing this top lane matchup pretty severely in the server. Obviously, there's no data for the mid lane matchup, and Draven has sunned Victor in the bot lane. And
I think the Morgana
yeah.
is actually 2-5 in that matchup. I would think the Morgana would be the pick into Leona.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You could call that, a little bit of an anomaly, but that's bot lane. I'm not too knowledgeable about that, but I'm hoping to find the one that has the. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think it was this one. The past performance. Yeah. So Arnier, like 20 games at Jax. He's played a bunch of it. Pretty decent KDA. Like average KDA, average win loss ratio. Ollie C, you did mention prior performance on the Poppy, 1-0 on it with a 6 KDA. Apparently, Bean is those two jungle Neferi losses that were shown on the other slide, but does also have a jungle Neferi win. So, he's won on it before. That's relieving some of the uncertainty that I felt. Neferi jungle, he can do it. Sarvis on Asol performed really good KDA, 2-1. First time Mel for Faye. 11 games of Draven for Eric with really nice KDA. But Stanley, 52 games of Victor. Across that many games, surprisingly good KDA. And 1 game of Leona for Dad. And Eden, 14 games. I don't know why I said I never played. I must have seen Eden play Morgana at some point. I'm just a goober. But really good KDA in those games too, with a really good win ratio. So I think what you saw, I don't know how familiar Ollie is with Poppy, but sorry, I was removed from the League of Legends party. Huh. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, my league game is crashing. 1 second.
Game as a mid laner, I've loved seeing that. Bot laners are appropriating our champions lately with all this mage priority bot. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see because, like I said, I think I've seen other mid laners kind of comment that they feel like Asol is one of these early counter picks that's kind of been identified into Mel. I think you have two ways of beating Mel. You can either try to go really aggressive and dominate her early game, or you look to play one of these champions that has a lot of range itself, can kind of try to outscale her. The scaling angle is a little bit more dangerous because I do think Mel comes online earlier than the Asol, and then if you're able to pilot these fights well, you're definitely gonna have angles. But we have gotten into games, so all the talking aside, now it's time to see.
Yeah, loading into the Rift for the second game. Here, I gotta stay tabbed into the game. Can you check the Twitch stream to make sure that the game's showing?
It is showing. We are good.
Okay. Yeah, loading into the second game here. Do we see? Okay, we are paused. Looks like I always see ping issue. But that gives us an opportunity to take a look.
Game 1, 52-minute game. It was a close one.
Yeah, really big banger. We see a grasp match in the top lane. Like I said, Arniage is looking to scale. Nefiri, Conqueror Nefiri, and we have lethal tempo Xin Zhao. So if he's able to stay alive in those skirmishes, he might be able to get a lot of use out of that. The mid lane matchup, probably a nothing burger unless jungle intervention from either side occurs. Bot lane, we do see the lethal tempo for Draven with the barrier, and Stanley opting to go barrier match, not going for the teleport in this bot lane, and pretty standard setup for the supports as well. So, and we do just see a 5-point across the board too. So, just gonna have to wait to get back in the game to see how this one's gonna develop.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I can throw up the pause border. There we go. Now I'm a good streamer. Okay. Looks like we're waiting on someone to restart either their computer or League of Legends. I'm not sure, but they're restarting something. Here. We do see Nefiri already purchasing the sweeper. Leona purchasing sweeper already as well. 2 sweepers have already been bought on Andromeda. And we do see Stanley getting his ward down in the pixel brush on boss side.
Yeah.
I mean, Julian is top right now at 50 seconds, but that's plenty of time to go bot and path top. But I imagine he's going to want to path bottom here for his Draven Morgana lane.
And there's some discussion in chat right now. I'm pretty confident that Mel actually can block nothing of Asol. Now, obviously, you can block the damage. So a well-timed Mel W will still block the damage from the Aurelion Soul ultimate, but it won't deflect it and it won't deny the CC.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if that was. I assume that this champion was picked in this place because that was a known fact. But
yeah, I definitely think so.
If it was, then I guess good looks in the draft. Really heads up decision for them.
Yeah, I think Asol's kind of getting found out. Most stats will show a good matchup, but there's really no good reflections when you actually think about it for the melee. There's nothing crazy. There's no Seraphine ult. There's no Malachi ult. There's nothing just that's like going to be mega value to get reflected.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that goes to show, like, if you are first picking Mel, that is kind of a downside. You know, there's 5 picks on the enemy team that they get to make with the knowledge that they're playing against Mel, so they can kind of play around that, especially with this mid lane matchup that we said should be maybe Acel favored because Mel can't use one of her key abilities that gets a lot of power budget against a champion. But
Yeah.
you do, with the Acel mid and the Victor bot and the Jax top, you do kind of need to look at Andromeda and really figure out where they're kind of trying to play early. Like, where is Nefiri pathing? Because a lot of their lanes are looking kind of weak early. So it'd be interesting to see what happens if Fruitcakes is able to pull ahead with a early lead here and potentially close out a game before Andromeda is able to come fully online and put up adequate enough, defense.
Yeah. Looks like we are getting back into it. One thing with the Mels we're talking about, yeah, there's no huge value reflection, but that's really not the main thing about Mel. It's ultimately going to come down to if the Mel can position really well and just pump out damage. The reflect is all it feels to me so far like kind of just cherry on top if you have something great to use it for.
That is fair. But yeah, kind of like how we said, just a pretty standard 5-point slow open into this game, especially from Andromeda's side. Okay, that should be the pause bug, and we should be into it. Yeah, Faye walking up kind of aggressively while that ward is getting cleared. Does take about a third of
Yeah,
their
quite a
HP
healthy
bar.
chunk.
Yeah, and we do see kind of like what we expected. Both junglers are going to be pathing into the bot side. Nefiri ostensibly to protect against the Xin Zhao, and Xin Zhao with blood in mind. So yeah, the Poppy starting Q, really pretty high damaging ability, especially early. Does true damage on the second part. Should be able to out even with Jax starting Counter Strike and him using it on the wave. I don't think Jax would be able to match the prio of Poppy early with that Q ability start. So
Yeah,
kind
that
of a
Q damage is pretty big.
yeah, kind of similar to last game. We see Arnier going down, Alice getting level 2 first.
Yeah,
Jax,
crucially, this time Bean is not pathing towards Arnie, so there's going to be no help coming.
yeah, Arnier and Alice, they're kind of on the island, and Arnier's position is already kind of being called into question a little bit. He does have the D shield, so he should be able to heal up a little bit, but yeah, not really what you want to see here. Playing into this bounce, Alice probably waiting to level up an ability.
Ooh!
Until you need to use it there. Yeah, heads up play gets to grab the E and stun Arnie into the wall. Forced the flash. Tried to flash to follow to get the first blood, but wasn't enough damage. Does get his wave to crash though, and yeah, I mean, like I said, they're on an island, so it's just them. Whatever happens here is strictly only on their play.
Yeah. But now that Poppy has used that flash, no flash on either, but you kind of see it right there. Acel can kind of run at the Mel.
Yeah, and Arnier getting hit by both parts of that Q again, as you can see, doing most of the work for Poppy in these trades. Starting to the wall, the Q again. I don't know. I think he might have lived if he just kept walking, potentially.
I'm gonna just say Masters player knew what he was doing there. So I
Yeah,
he
he had calculated it. He was dead 100%. Seeing both junglers finishing up their full clears, Bean looks to be looking for a topside angle here onto Mel, Faye if she stays. Julian looked bot, but there wasn't an angle, and so we'll see both junglers finishing up their full clear. Their game plan didn't really play out, both of them. Julian maybe
looking for Dad. I think it's just gonna be some damage. I'm critically out because of that topside play. Arnie TP'd back, obviously had to, but Ollie C was able to hold his TP.
Yeah, you'll see both junglers were channeling their backs. We're set to back at the same time, but Julian keeps his channeling. Bean goes for a play on Mel. He's going to be a little later back out on the map. Julian with about a 25 second lead.
Yeah, that tempo is actually pretty huge as both junglers are going to be pathing towards topside. Remember, no flashes on either top laner, and with Arnie being this pushed up, Julian might go for a play. Gonna actually choose to do the Gromp first, and he will be spotted on... Or actually, no, Arnie doesn't have vision, so there is no vision for the Jax.
Yeah, honestly, I think if you're Fruitcakes, you're telling Ollie C he does have his vision set up. I would try, if I'm Xin Zhao, I'm pathing bot to try to maximize my tempo on the Fury and set up for this dragon potentially with my really strong bot lane that wants to get ahead. But Ollie C up here able to make the matchup volatile.
Yeah,
Arnie going down super low. Both junglers are here.
They know Neferi's coming, and now they're going to be able to look for a turn here.
Yeah, no flash on Ollie. Able to get the E into the wall, but no stun because it didn't quite connect. Neferi flashing away. Counter-Strike coming down. Arnie dropping super low, but it doesn't look like any lives are going to be traded over. Flash burned from both junglers.
Yeah, Bean managed to live there barely, and that ends up being pretty huge. Although it looks like he's actually going to try to wrap and see if they can do a redive onto Jax. This is dangerous. I don't know if you can get this dive off without trading at least one person.
Oh, the stun does connect on the E. Oh, yeah, wow. With the minion block.
Wow. Oh, it's only an execute, but damn, well played by Arnie there.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie C has no mana, dangerously low, outnumbered 3-1. I think it's just another stand there and die angle.
That's what it's looking like. Damn, that's rough for the side of Fruitcakes. Critically, the one death on a Julian was an execute, so that doesn't give them the 3 kills for that feed amount. The Warfare feed is still up for grabs.
Yeah, and we do see Neferi cleaning up these grubs. Should be able to get all 3 and get that feat point. Dragon, not really touched by anybody yet. We do see Julian walking up on Neferi. Maybe he can get 1. Yeah, Arnie kind of caught. Oh, all the burst does connect. The stun into the wall with the Poppy ultimate to keep him with the guaranteed Q2.
But if you die here, that's feats. You got to be careful if you're Draven.
Yeah, Draven kind of chilling under the tower a little bit.
Okay, we're at 2-2. Next kill will be massive. Mel is walking down like she wants to do something, but, you know, your Draven is backing. It'd be a 2v. Now Draven's sticking around. Got to be careful here. Stanley's just going to turn on you. I think we've seen this before. And that's kill feed. Really just, I don't know. Eric canceled his back there while being like 1 health and got punished for it. Do manage to trade back Stanley off of a nice play by Faye.
Yeah, so I mean, really, it looks like it's kind of just like last game where we don't have any. Oh my goodness! A dive onto Eden from Bean using the Neferi ultimate. Sarvis is here with the Acel here to back up. No flash on Julian. It does look like he's going to be able to retreat out towards Faye in the mid lane though. So
yeah, Draven here's going aggressive. I can't tell who's catching who right now in the bot side river, but Arnie picks up
solo bolo onto Poppy here. Yeah, trading flashes. But I think Sarver's is going to stand there, hold Q a little bit. Dad's going in on the Leona, probably going to trade his life. No, able to survive. Bean's back in there. The Victor ult coming down. I think with the Morgana shield. Oh, no. Sarver's able to pick it up with the Acel on the back end. And yeah, I don't know. Andromeda kind of just exploding this game right here on both sides of the map.
Yeah, it's getting pretty bloody. It's getting pretty sloppy for the side of Fruitcakes there. Now it's
a lot to keep up with.
Real pretty, yeah.
This dragon still untouched. We're 9 minutes into the game. We have a 3-0 Acel.
Yeah, Sarverus has just kind of been the recipient of some well-timed roam plays, picked off these low-health members.
Yeah, really huge, honestly, a really huge solo kill for Arnie. Is able, with that solo kill, to even up the gold top lane.
Yeah.
As you can see, there is a 1K gold for Andromeda right now. It's really kind of just spread out across the map. Not really a significant lead, maybe for 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Sarver's opted to go for the Rylai's first on the Acel here. And yeah, he'll walk over here, put the Rylai's down on Julian, and you're not really getting away.
Yeah, I mean the Acel with the Rylai's, you're just
Well,
permanently
that
holding
didn't
Q.
even hit the Xin Zhao. That was actually just damn near Nefiri plus Leona damage.
Yeah, might see another all in here top lane. Arnie
He dodges it.
with 200 ping, able to predict the Poppy ultimate. Does Q behind, is able to dodge it, but I think the the play's going to defuse there.
Arnie having a really good performance this game. And yeah, you're kind of seeing it now. Like, that's the problem with Melon to Acel is even hits the root, but he kind of just keeps running at you, and we've already said there's nothing.
Yeah, Acel could be in trouble here. Julian able to
wow.
connect onto him, flash him
He
forward
got too
from
greedy.
Sarvis. Does get the Mel ultimate straight to the dome, and Julian's going to clean that up. Clean double kill for Julian.
Sarver's kind of egoed that, flashing over the wall. Faye lived on, I mean, it had to be the smallest amount of health possible, but got off an ultimate that allowed them to trade 2 back, and you really needed that if you're Fruitcake, so really good job kind of baiting Sarverus in there, and then, yeah, he just saw kills and decided to flash forward. Stanley with a butch cheese, 2v1, chunks them out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. You do see Sarvis potentially looking for another top lane roam here. We do have Dr. Dad and Bean here to back them up. Both top laners low. You're going to see them recall. Dr. Dad gets the E in on Faye, dropping dangerously low. Julian, the recipient of the Nefiri R, is able to use his R in return to knock her away. But Mel does go down.
Yeah, that bleed from the Nefiri Q manages to be just enough to finish off Mel there.
Yeah, Stanley's going to have to be a little careful here. The flash R from Eden.
Forward. Nice root. Nice combo with
The
the
Ignite
ultimate.
comes down, and this should just be a dead Stanley here. Doesn't have flash, already used barrier. Is able to trade over Eden. But yeah, it should just be Draven cashing out there.
Okay, that's big. You get a shutdown onto your Draven. Nice play by Eden, setting that up, with just flashing aggressively, and Stanley with no flash just didn't respect Eden's ability to do that.
Yeah, we do see Andromeda able to actually get the objective feat point here topside, so you do kind of have to make that play as Fruitcakes. Speaking of Fruitcakes making a play, they are here topside with Julian to counteract the engage that Arnie was doing, and they are able to turn that around and take him down.
Yeah, nice job by Fruitcakes, just slowly finding like different ways they can punish this Andromeda team right now, and have brought it back. Gold is damn near even.
Yeah, they might even... No, they're not going to look onto the tower here. Probably have a bunch of gold. No, Poppy actually only has 750 gold. Just going to recall for tempo, get their resources back. But yeah, we do see Dragon coming up in 2.5 minutes. Rift Herald's going to be up in, 30 seconds longer, about 3 minutes. Who are you favoring in these objective fights, and who do you think they're going to play for?
So critically in this next objective fight, you see Sarverus has the empowered ultimate right now. But you're seeing it. I mean, there's just like... As the Mel, there's nothing you can do in this 1v1 with your misposition, because the Acel just runs at you, and I don't think I'm really getting a chance to answer the question.
Yeah, and kind of like a highlight, like I said, a lot to keep up with. We see the solo kill coming down mid lane, and then we see the 2v2 kill onto Eden here bot lane. We get the flash and the barrier out of Eric. Julian is here to try to maybe protect, but I mean Andromeda kind of just keeping the pressure up mid and bot, while Arnie and LEC are up here duking it out.
Yeah. Farming pretty well across the board, though, so it's not like... Or it is, these Fruitcakes members will be coming into their items. Dad could potentially be caught here.
Yeah, standing on vision, I believe. Julian's super aggressive play. It does look like he's going to be taken out by the Nefiri, though, a little deep. His team not really able to walk up and help him.
Yeah, 2 shutdowns traded over there. Both Leona and Zen had similar shutdowns.
Yeah, and honestly, I think first tower it's hard to keep up with. Riot needs to update their spectator. It's hard to keep up with the feats. So Andromeda has 2 objective feats and they have kill feats.
Yeah.
And Fruitcakes has 0 progress towards any feats right now.
Yes, I believe that's correct. Oh, Arnie might just be dead here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Disrespecting the Q damage still, you know. And
Yeah, you
also,
gotta be so careful when you're against a Poppy based on how you position right turret. I don't know if Julian was looking at his screen right there, just walks right into the Neferi plus Leona.
yeah, and I mean with Dragon coming up in 10 seconds, that does look like it's just gonna be Andromeda claiming feats with their third
Oh,
third
that's
kill
tough.
feat and third objective feat.
Yeah. Just, I'm not sure if he didn't see them. He might have been looking at like a lane, but just wasn't ready for the Leona to be behind Neferi there and just got jumped on. Neferi's doing a lot of damage as well from what I'm seeing. Having not watched Neferi jungle before, I could kind of see why you pick it. It seems like the damage is there.
Yeah, you just gotta hope that people aren't available to step in front of your ultimate or to block your dash. Not to block
Man,
your ultimate, to block your dash. But
Stanley's
yeah,
1v2 down here.
Stanley having a really good game, really unlocking Dr. Dad to roam, combined with how much Sarvis has been roaming. Yeah, they've just really been a force all across the map. And Stanley being the rock, holding it down on the side lane just like Arnier.
It's so hard to deal with an enemy team if you're Fruitcakes when not only is like Victor's allowed to be at your turret 1v2, which is allowing Leona to just influence everything else, and then they're not even able to punish the Victor. So it's really just allowing Andromeda to have like full movement around the map, and you already see they've rotated Dad towards the objective, and they're putting Victor mid. And yeah, they have Poppy bot as a soul. You definitely, I don't think want to be, or as Poppy, you don't want to be landing against an a soul.
Yep, it's somewhat ironic because you know I was of the belief I was looking at Andromeda's draft and I was like, they got Jax with Grasp, they've got Asol, they've got Victor. Like where? Oh, I don't think that's gonna matter. Yeah, like where are they looking to play? And ironically, they're the ones that are in the driver's seat for this game.
Yeah, I'll give it to Sarvers. Dude is not afraid to fight anyone. Afraid of flashes. And Arnie solo kills Mel. I don't even think we saw that, but Arnie found a solo kill.
Jax solo kills Mel off screen. We are going to see Poppy kind of just
top lane dominant, baby. Mid laners can't hang with these top laners in the side lane right now. Pretty insane by Ollie C to find a solo kill as Poppy against Aurelion Sol. Once again, I think Ben just being a little aggressive.
Yeah.
Really, all of his deaths in the series have been just from playing pretty aggressively.
Right. Arnie should be able to pick this up.
Yeah, Arnie TP'd down here, but with the ground, it's going to manage to get away.
Yeah, we do see Faye TPing in just to be safe. A little bit of a dangerous angle, kind of considering how Faye died off this respawn. You know, maybe perhaps TPing within melee range of the Jax. A little scary, but it all works out.
Yeah, and so they've chosen to continue to put Faye against the Jax. Obviously, they're, I guess, comfortable having Poppy versus Aurelion Sol. Just found that kill, but Dad just with a nice little slow walk around. And
yeah, Faye does have the flash available, is forced to use it, but having TP'd into bot lane, losing about 75% of their HP, not really a whole lot of options, especially with how low this tower is, and we see Neferi converging.
Just coming right back.
Yeah, the ultimate, the flash, this might just be a Leona solo, cleanup. But we do see Jax jump in there to pick it up. Julian trying to ult everyone away, but is ultimately going to succumb to the outnumbers. Oh.
Yeah, they're kind of starting to snowball kills again.
This game is kind of starting to look a little out of control.
Yeah, it's looking rough. Yeah.
We do see Ollie C, trying to put in some of the work, pushing the side waves, You know, you see him all across the map, top and bot, trying to make sure the waves are pushed so that his team has opportunities to try to look for options onto Andromeda without losing too much in the side lane,
Oh,
and
wow, he's looking for another
maybe get
sword.
some solo kills along the way. But
I mean,
but
he's
yeah, we do see
proxying
the
right
rest of
now
the
with Poppy. It's
yeah, the
kinda
rest of the
crazy.
team is converging. There's no way he's not dead here. No
Probably can just
flash.
walk it out. Oh, they
Okay,
might
Julian
actually
is
pop
here
from
with
here.
him. The Draven ult comes through. Nefiri not really dropping that low. Oh, but
Yeah,
the damage
Draven's
is
free
coming
hitting.
through. Yeah, it does look like Nefiri is going to go down. The rest of Andromeda really kind of not looking too much better.
All right,
Aesol
nice
able to heal up a
legendary
little bit with
start.
that plant, but yeah, Dragon's up in 30 seconds. Nefiri will be respawned for that, but I mean, yeah, good kill. That's what you need to see a little bit.
Yep.
Draven really kind of pushing his time on the map here, though. Does need to get a recall. I think, yeah, those minions are going to cancel him, so he has to go kill them. The Dragon's going to be up before he can even get a recall completed.
And
Faye
yeah,
kind
we're
of
seeing
overcommitting
April
for this top, or the bot tower.
manages to hit the root, which will keep Faye alive. And they do manage to pick up the turret because he opted to go for her instead of clearing the wave. But yeah, that's an objective bounty. You get that turret. It looks like because of that, the objective bounties have actually fallen off. So getting back and 6-3 right now, top lane. All he see is putting in work. Like I think he's shown he's comfortable playing against either solo laner right now. Gonna see if he can generate enough pressure to give windows for Fruitcakes to try to find a way back in.
I don't know if Bammy Cinder is supposed to look like that, but I mean, I'm here for it, I guess.
It kind of looks cool. I'm not gonna lie. The Ring of Fire. It's how much aura all these
We
team
got
has. But
Aesol Wing in. Empowered Ultimate does come up. The Q finishes
yeah,
off Faye, but he does go down. We see a bunch of people going golden as the Victor root and Ultimate comes down. But it does look like Andromeda is going to be able to clean this up on the backside through Bean and the bot lane.
yeah. Starburst just kind of went in there 1-for-1, hit a big ultimate, traded them out, and then yeah, the Nefiri, when these team fights are kind of chaotic, just can really clean up.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see after all the side lane play from Ali C, you would say, you know, maybe potentially he was avoiding the Jax for a little bit, but able to blow the Jax's flash and force him to retreat off that tier 2 tower top. So
Yeah,
whatever he did on the
he,
side wave, he must now be in a good spot to potentially match the Jax as well.
yeah, all you see with his Ring of Aura, just like running around doing work, but at the end of the day, you know, it's a Poppy. There's only so much a Poppy can ultimately do. It's not like a Camille. Sooner or later, you don't have the damage to just find, like, he's putting work on the Jax, but I don't know how easily he can actually convert it into kills.
Yeah, I think a lot of this game is going to be on Faye using the W, maybe not to reflect, but to at least negate key abilities that engage on them. And it's going to be on Eden and Julian looking for angles. But Aesol able to just burn away all of Eric's HP bar before the fight even starts. Stanley dropping extremely low. The Nefiri engages on Eden, and Morgana goes down. But it just looks like Andromeda's going to walk them down with the Aesol slows and the Victor damage as well.
Yeah. It's just really hard to deal with an Aurelion Soul this game if you're if you're Fruitcake's comp. You kind of have like, you're mostly a low range comp, and then as we've already discussed quite a few times, the Mel doesn't have a lot of ability to.
Oh, look at
counter
this
the
Aesol TP. I don't know if they saw that. Aesol's in kind of deep.
Ooh.
It doesn't look like they wanted to move on it or they saw it. But Aesol here behind Draven. This is Assassin Aesol.
Wow. What the hell are we seeing? That's pretty crazy. The flank just takes them completely off guard, and
Yeah, Assassin Aesol with his ultimate, not empowered, but still his ultimate and his Q, able to get a triple kill here on. Oh no, Stanley does get that one. So a double kill for Sarvis, but it does look like this might just be an ace potentially. Yeah, that's a 5-for-0 ace for Andromeda onto Fruitcakes. and they are about 6k gold ahead here at 25 minutes. They are going to pick up this Otacon, finish up the tier 1 top tower. Baron spawns in 20 seconds. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we said the game was looking a little bit out of control earlier, but Andromeda just in a really powerful position right now.
Yeah, I think their draft set them up for success, and then just they executed the early game really, really well. And at this point, the Fruitcakes comp just, when you pick stuff like Draven and then Zhao, you really need to snowball. But
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it is interesting to see because we've seen two. We saw last game first pick Mel really go off, and this game you kind of saw. I think Andromeda did a really good job of countering it, like through their composition. I don't know. I mean, I don't think FaZe looked like bad on the Mel necessarily. I think it's just maybe not quite as comfortable as Stanley, but also just it's a lot harder of a game to be Mel.
Yeah, and I mean, to Fruitcake's credit, you did see them go for that early game plan. You saw Julian pathing bot. He did look for the play bot side, even maybe kind of like overstayed to try to force one a little bit, arguably. But I mean, it didn't end up being a big deal. But yeah, so that game plan was in place. They played for it. I just think that the angles that they have gone for either just haven't worked out for them, or I mean, Andromeda's just also been playing very well. Like we said, all series, they were very intelligent with their map movements in the first game. Also with their builds as well in some scenarios that we saw. So yeah.
Yeah, just looking really strong across the board right now. Dad looking for a pick.
Yeah, I mean, we just see a bunch of brawling. The Xin Zhao ultimate is used to disengage. We do see them try to flash away, but yeah, it's just like any fight that Andromeda finds. It doesn't really matter if it looks like a good fight, just any fight. It looks like it can go their way right now.
Yeah, Leona is so tanky as well. One death on Leona is pretty impressive this game. Least deaths in the game.
Yeah, especially if they can get Dragon Soul, get these 2 inhibs here. If
They
they don't
might
look
for an end here.
Yeah, if they don't look for the end, it will be. Yeah, they can't do it now, but they get Dragon, they recall, purchase, go for Baron. They got 2 inhibs. It's super easy end angle once they get Baron, and Fruitcakes has to deal with the double super waves bot and mid.
Yeah, Andromeda just playing it pretty cleanly here. It's gonna take kind of a miracle at this point if you're Fruitcakes to try to find a way back in. And you know, if it ends up being the result we were thinking it's looking like, that would end up putting Andromeda at 3-0 on the season, looking really strong.
Yeah, we do see Leona channeling a recall here on the Baron, so a pretty slow roll. I guess they're not looking to do Baron in a hurry right now. But yeah, in Andromeda in position to go 3-0 like you said. And I think we're 3-0 as well, but yeah, I think that would put them at the second 3-0 team for the season, right?
Yeah, they'd be tied for first.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, the Baron's still up. It looks like Andromeda is making their way over there right now, but game is not over yet.
Gonna have to see if Xin Zhao can maybe find a way to look for a steal on this, but yeah, not even gonna be an angle. They're just burning it so fast. Gonna have to try to just find a heroic base defense.
Yeah, I think if Xin Zhao dies trying to steal this, and they just go for the end anyway, so I think you just have to give it over and try to pray that they don't just stand still and watch you bleed on double super waves that you eventually have to go to.
Yeah, I think if you're Fruitcakes here, you probably want to try to make your last stand at this turret. You see the minion waves crashing in bot.
Yeah, Leona ultimate does connect with Xin Zhao, but there is no follow-up. The E missing as well, so we do see Leona get sunned up onto the corner of the wall by Ali C. The flash counter-strike and the Jax ultimate, the empowered Aurelion Soul ultimate coming down as well. No one dead yet.
Oh,
I take that back. We do see Morgana come down. Insane ridiculously huge Victor ultimate, forcing Faye to flash
Flashing
away.
forward.
Yeah, I think this is just an Andromeda 2-0, guys.
Game one
GG,
was
well played.
super close. And then game 2, they really just turned it on with a really nice draft, I think, to just set them up for success. And yeah, 2-0, really nice game.
Yeah, did kind of call it. I was really sad that if it was going to end up being a 2-0 because, yeah, like I said, like the first game, 50-minute banger, that was insane. Clash of Titans, really back and forth game. And then this game, through one way or another, Fruitcakes kind of just saw it get pulled away from them. And yeah, with a pretty decent scaling comp that had a really good early game, Andromeda able to close it out 2-0. So well played to them. What are we thinking for? We had Stanley MVP for the first game. So what are we thinking MVP for this second game? I'm
This is a
not
hard one
sure.
for me. It really, like, no one really seems like a standout to me. I feel like they all just played super well.
Okay, hear me out. I think there is a. I think it's between Sarveris and I would have to argue Arnier. I think it's between Sarveris and Arnier this game.
Really? Okay.
I think that Sarveris really had a lot of really good heads up. Like he was permanently roaming on this ASOL champion, and like we kind of mentioned about how Stanley was able to sit up at the tower bot lane 1v2.
Yeah, Stanley was huge.
Yeah, imagine you have your top laner scaling, holding it down top side, even though he's getting pressed a little bit. Your bot laner is 1v2ing, and you just have a unit of 3 people: ASOL, Leona, and Nefiri. They can just walk around the map and just be like a really strong unit, and they really took really good advantage of that in the second game.
You did give a good call out to Arnie, though, with a pretty massive game. I wouldn't be upset giving it to him either. I mean, just really kind of shut, like, the only angle that Fruitcakes had was Ollie C. But even then, Dr. Dad, 1 death on Leona, man. It's so hard to pick. I'll leave it up to you. It could be. They're so good, man. The whole team played so well.
I think. Okay, I take it, but with that revision, I think it's between Dad and Sarveris. So what's?
Well, Sarveris is in chat saying Dr. Dad is his MVP. I'm gonna just leave. I'm gonna say that then. It's Dr. Dad.
Okay, yeah, Dr. Dad gets MVP for that game. He, like I said, he was also a part of that unit that was walking around making plays.
Death.
Yeah,
One
and I mean,
from Leona is crazy.
Yeah, insane game from everybody. Really well played series from everybody as well. Did we want to get one of the Andromeda members in here to speak and ask a couple questions, or how are we feeling?
Sure, that's fine with me.
Yeah. Can you monitor the Discord, see if someone's saying that they want to Oh, someone messaged me on League. Send Dad. Okay.
Hello.
We're about to get Doctor. We got the Dr. Dad himself.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
MVP game 2, really strong performances both game. What's your initial reaction just to the series?
Dude, I thought we were gonna have 3 50-minute bangers, dude. Game 1 was crazy.
It was. Were you nervous at all game 1?
Am I ever nervous, dude?
That's fair.
Hell no.
What you think allowed y'all to take game 1 from being so close to allowing game 2 to be a little bit more dominant?
I think in game 1 we just kind of like messed up our lane assignments early, and then once we fixed that, we were big chilling. We just let everybody scale. We could match the Tryndamere, and then kind of like you guys said on the cast, they over pushed their side lanes a lot and just got picked in the side so much. And then game 2 is just a massive draft. If they first picked Mel, and then we picked like 4 champions that are so good into her. Like if she reflects Leona E, she just comes to me. So like perfect.
Yeah.
Whether it's bot or mid, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think, we saw the first game Mel got first picked and didn't really get counter picked, and then you saw how hard it was for them to actually touch Stanley. Whereas, like you just said, y'all kind of drafted all counters. Yeah. What did you think of? What's your experience with Mel so far, having played with and against it?
I mean, I think it's just player diff. I don't know. Stanley went crazy on that shit. He practiced it, I think, maybe like 3 games, and was like, okay, this is fine. And then we pulled it out, and Stanley did great. And then I really do think it was just the counter picks. Like Mel into Asol is unplayable, is what it feels like. She doesn't do anything. She gets outranged. So playing against it was super easy. I'll be honest.
After kind of a nail biter game one, going into game two with your draft, we were kind of thinking, like looking at it, that your early game might not be up to snuff, like against like the Draven and the Morgana, like with the triple scaling lanes, kind of with the Jax, Asol, and Victor. Were you guys like worried? Like, were there? I saw Bean did path bot to try to like stop the Xin Zhao gank, but outside of that, were there any like precautions put in, like to try to protect yourselves and try to make your early game not as bad, or were you not worried at all, really?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't super worried. We saw that Xin Zhao started topside, so we just kind of chilled in lane. Right, as soon as we got that little bit of information on where they were starting, I think we all just played around that. And then just gank timers, right? Knew Xin Zhao would be bot when I checked Tribush like level 3 or something, and then it didn't do anything. And then as soon as you get more information, right, then the other lanes can play how they need to play.
As we wrap it up, you moved to 3-0, tied for first place. What are your thoughts on your team as a whole, and how far do you think you guys go this season?
I mean, we're winning, right?
Surely.
Got to be confident. I don't know who this Rift Sharks team is, but I don't think they're pretty good.
Fair.
I think we just beat them.
Possible.
And you always got to believe. If you don't believe in your team, you can't say that you're truly a teammate. So.
Yeah, see, exactly. And I think I'm Rift Shark's mid laner is like kryptonite. I don't know. Every time he plays me, he loses. So I think we're fine.
I think that's your next matchup, so we shall see.
No, I love it. But yeah, anything else that you want to ask Dr. Dad, or Dr. Dad, anything else you want to add?
For having good mental. That's the biggest thing. You just keep your head in the game and we win.
Yeah, honestly, and no matter how the game is going, a 50-minute game is still, that's a long time to keep intense focus up. So yeah, really, really good on both teams for making that one a close one, even though it got drawn out super long.
Honestly, we practice our mental every time we play because we lose every game we practice. So,
hey, loses improve. That's what I always say. But yeah, no, really, really well played series from you and your team, and really well played from Fruitcakes as well. Really coming out and giving everybody a show. So thanks for coming in and talking, and thanks for playing tonight.
Hey, I appreciate y'all casting.
Yep. All right. So later. Yeah. So I think tomorrow, I'm not sure exactly how, because I know there's a stream happening that is a delayed stream, and I think there's also a game tomorrow, 101 Thieves versus Skaven Kill Team. Definitely tune in for, I believe both of them are planned to be streamed, so definitely tune in for both of those tomorrow. Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight that did. Thanks for bearing with me. I hadn't streamed in a while, so it was a little scuffed, but we made it through. And yeah, again, thanks for everybody that played. So
yeah,
you got anything else to add?
No, just great games. GG's to both teams, and hope everybody's back watching tomorrow. It'll be another good day.
Yep, and I just got confirmation both those games should be streamed by Mason tomorrow, so we'll see who hops in with him to get those banged out and up there for everybody to enjoy. But yeah, I think that's it for us. So everybody, peace out, have a good night, and stay safe.